Hey fam, welcome to the Highest and Best podcast. My name is Erica Kolika. I am behind the brand at Meet Erica on Instagram. And I'm here with my pal Stevie Hahn. She's at Sold by Stevie on Instagram. And we are two realtors from opposite sides of the country coming to you every single week to talk about all things real estate and all the fun stuff we get to do. So this week's episode, we are going to talk about our 2022 goals. Hey, Stevie.
Hey, it's so crazy to think 2022, right?
Literally, it's wild. Like, I still feel like it's 2019. Like, I'm still traumatized from the pandemic.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, to start, your goals that you had for 2021, how did the outcome look? Did you exceed them?
We crushed it. Like, I know. Thank you. Thank God. Because it's like you never really kind of know, like, but you're kind of like, okay, like, let's see. Right. It's cool to like get excited about it. Right. And, we totally crushed them. So that's really awesome. And, I think the past like 3 years I've grown really like exponentially year by year. And this is like probably another topic too, but since I've had Abby, shout out to Abby. The woman behind the woman is what we call her. My business has really like doubled every single year. So
this is why I need an assistant.
Yes, you absolutely do. You need, well, this is, I don't want to talk about, we will a little bit, but it's, I think finding, like Abby is like she's my business manager.
How'd you find her?
Dude, I got so lucky. Like I literally we fell into each other's laps after like years and years and years of searching for that perfect someone. Like it just, she worked for like another top producer in my market. And I was always like, damn, like she's so great. Like I would die to have someone like her. And then she ended up like at my office, and then I needed like help processing, and she had goals of becoming an agent at the time. She was leaving to go kind of do the thing on her own. And, I started to get really busy. And so my manager's like, maybe Abby can process these deals for you. Like, she's not that busy. Like, she's just getting started as an agent, like see if she'll want to do it for a fee. And so I reached out to her, and she was like, absolutely. And it was like the perfect, like the ideas we had, like we just flowed so naturally that she went from like processing deals to full-time within 1 year, and with me. And that's amazing. Yeah, I would be like, listen, if I meet this, like I'll hire you part-time. And then I would get it. And then I'd be like, okay, if I do this, I'll hire you full-time. And the rest is history.
Oh, that's so great. I love that so much.
Yeah, I know you're looking for one too, right?
Yeah, it's
hard.
Been very hard.
Yeah, because it's like you need someone. Go ahead.
I was like sporadically looking, and now I'm like really serious, and I'm like, it's hard to find anybody. They're all duds.
I know. Well, yeah. And it's such a role where like, if you get someone, like Abby, that when you will find someone, I know you will, it's just, you'll get there. But it's like, you guys can grow together. Right. And like, you can it's like this partnership. And I think that's like, for me, once I started treating it like that, like, and giving her an opportunity to grow with me and earn with me and like reach her goals, like that's where everything changed too. Because like now, like she's vested in my business. It's our business. It's like, so, I think when you're looking to hire too, like, even like the words that you use, like assistant, like I think by not saying, and it's like, say like business partner, say like, business manager, I don't know, elevating it a little bit, because then you're going to attract like that higher quality of person, and not that assistants are, bad, but it's just, it's usually people that are transitioning that want to be agents or, whatever. And if you can find someone who doesn't want to be the face, that's where the magic happens.
100%.
She doesn't want to do what I do, and I don't want to do what she does.
Yeah.
So,
I know, that is so perfect. You guys have a great setup.
Yeah. So as I was saying, now that we're going to get back to our 2022 goals topic, but, yeah, I've achieved my goals, and I stopped setting them like a while ago because I wasn't reaching it, and it was like I think it was actually like stopping me from achieving my goals because I became so obsessed with it that like I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
reach the goals, and I would just be so hard on myself every day, like depressed.
Mm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know so because you have good and bad years, and I never like had a bad year per se. Like I've always grown like year over year, but some years not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like when I stopped putting goals and on my notepad is when I achieved them. But
Yeah.
next year we're hoping to reach 50 million in sales. I'm just gonna put that
That's
out there.
exciting.
50 million.
Yeah.
What
Put
are
it out into the universe. I
Yeah,
totally believe in like manifesting.
I know, right? What are
That's
your
great.
goals?
Well, it's interesting because yeah, real estate is my number one income and it's very important to me, right? But I'm so passionate about helping other real estate agents, and I want to, relaunch the course. I want courses, and I mean, essentially, I need help, right? Like I
Yeah.
can't do what I'm doing in sales and all these courses and all these speaking events.
You
So
can't?
I kind of no, I can't. And a podcast, like what?
Yeah.
And have a life.
Right.
Yeah. So I was thinking about my goals the other day, just like all the things I'm going to talk to you about this potential person to hire, and I was like, I'm kind of okay with keeping my numbers at where they're at because to me, they're still good.
Yeah.
And I want to grow the courses and the speaking even more. So if I can do 20 million again next year and have grown the courses and the speaking even more, then I'm super happy.
Totally. Yeah. Amen. And that's what it's about, right? Is like, what do you want to do, right? Like, not, I think too, like
Yeah.
being
Like,
real estate agents, like everyone's always like, it's like there's this pressure to like perform and improve every year, right? And like,
right.
your colleagues like will always comment or look at you, but that's awesome. And me too. Like I'm getting that damn course out by the end of the year, Stevie. I'm not even gonna talk about it until it's done, but we're almost
Yes.
there. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's so exciting.
I know. What else?
Well, I think that people have to, whatever you're doing today will pay dividends 90 days from now, right? Because we are in a 90-day sales cycle in real estate. So you really do have to plan in advance. The way that I like to do it is like, yeah, okay, I have this goal of 20 million, but how am I going to achieve that? You can, it takes the hard work. You can write this down, this number, but I like to break it down. I have this yearly goal, but I like to break it down into quarterly and then breaking it down monthly and then weekly and then daily, which it kind of sounds like a lot and overwhelming when I say it out loud, but it's really not. And ways to keep myself accountable is like I put it out there. I tell other people what my goals are. I'm intentional about it. I make videos about it. I do my 12-week goal. I love the book, The 12-Week Year. It's awesome.
I need to check that out.
So I'll do a video on my 12-week goal in the beginning and at the end. So I'm discussing like, what did I achieve? What did I not? I'm putting it out there for other people to see. It helps keep myself accountable. And then I'm also breaking down monthly, like, okay, in order to achieve that quarter's goals, what do I need to be doing every month? So I'm not getting so overwhelmed by that quarterly goal. I'm just breaking it down monthly. And then, we got to plan our week as a business owner. So I'm planning my week. And then, every day we have to be taking these actions to achieve our goals. So I love checklists and writing things down. So that's always super helpful. It's important to have big picture planning. Like everyone always says, like having your why, but it's so true because it's like, why are you doing all of this? And when things get tough and hard and you might not be seeing results, having that big picture and having that plan in front of you is beyond helpful.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Your why.
Because when you're
What is
like
your
in the
why?
trenches, right? Like, in the beginning, my why was to survive, actually, like, believe it or not. I literally, I had a really difficult upbringing. my mother was like a single mom, and my grandparents actually raised me, and for like a lot of my life. And then when my grandparents passed away, like my best friend's family like literally took me in, and I like lived with them in high school. And so I didn't have anything. Like my grandfather left me like $20,000, and that was literally all I had.
Yeah.
And no one was paying for my college, and no one was like, and so I ended up, I went to school in fashion in San Francisco, and I studied fashion merchandising. And I quickly realized that I wouldn't be able to achieve like the lifestyle that I wanted by working in, in retail, basically. So I quit. I dropped out of college, and I moved back to Michigan to start real estate full time. And I was like 21 years old and a college dropout in like 2004. And everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, you are a loser.
Yeah.
Like, that is such a horrible idea, and I thank God that I followed my gut on that, because like now real estate, like it's cool to be a realtor now, right? Like back then it wasn't. Like everyone was like 50 years old. And like no one would even, like my colleagues were like, oh, like whose assistant are you? Like, what are you doing? It was really crazy. Like it was really hard. And, I just showed up every day. Like I would sit in the office with literally like nothing to do. Like I would just listen to everyone. We had an open office. So I could like hear what others were doing, and I could say, hey, do you need help with this? Do you, what do you need? And so I would fill in that way, and I would take floor time. And get those floor calls. And I built my business on open houses like you did too, doing them every day, back to back. Not every day, every weekend, every day. And then it just, eventually, because I was there so much, this top producing agent was like, hey, do you want to partner with me? Because I have so much business, like I can't even handle it. It's coming out of my ears. And I'm like, 50-50? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. In today's day and age is like insane, right? Like that, I don't think anyone would even offer that now. But back in 2004 or 5, like the team thing was still new, and like, whatever. So I worked with her for 2 years, and I ended up, I figured out how to sell real estate really well, and I just, left on from her, and the rest is history. So my why was to, have a lifestyle that I wanted, and not be broke, right? So
what about now?
Now it's a little different, that's now that I'm, fortunate enough to have, be beyond the past, beyond the point of survival. I really enjoy helping people, that relationship that we're able to, grow with our clients, right? Like we are a part of this special part of their lives, like, which is like this, it's this life event. It's like a wedding. It's like, having a baby.
Always remember.
Yeah. Like you get this intimate, like, to be a part of someone's life and just like coach them and strategize and get their house sold and get like, them into the house of their dreams. What I really love about working with Chris Kemp is that he literally will reply to messages and emails from my clients and I in real time. And that's so important, because when you're in a multiple offer situation and you're getting ready to put that offer in, and your client wants to know how much their monthly payment is, or can they afford that $30,000 over asking that, they need to write in order to secure the deal, he will literally get right back to you, or someone from his team will get right back to you and get your questions answered. He's been in residential lending now for about 21 years, and he has been just so supportive of everything that me and my team have done. And I just see him support other agents by, having luncheons or supporting their open houses, in all those ways too, which is also really cool. His annual production, you guys, is crazy impressive. He's one of the best in the country at $123 million in loan volume every year, with 468 single transactions. Like, holy shit, that's crazy. Hashtag goals, right? So if you guys are looking for a residential lender, Chris Kemp's your guy. He's with Flagstar Bank. He's in the Metro Detroit area, but can do a loan anywhere in the country. Follow him on Instagram. It's Chris Kemp at Flagstar Bank. And yeah, just tell them Highest and Best sent you.
With starting out, I feel like I had nothing. I started out sleeping on my brother's couch after like a relationship ending and having no money at like I couldn't get my own place. So
I was
like,
a couch sleeper too, Stevie. I literally
Actually, I slept on his floor. Like I didn't even have a couch. I slept on his floor.
Dude, I slept on my aunt's couch for like 3 months, like her pull-out couch. That was like the worst thing on the planet. Like, yeah, and you were sleeping on the floor. Like what?
Yeah,
like look at us now.
I know. Trust me, I know. I feel like I think we talked about this before. Like I always had good work ethic, but I didn't have like very high paying jobs and I wasn't passionate about them at all. But I basically, you know, being in that position and barely able to get by, and I felt so low about myself. I was like, I'm not passionate about anything. I feel like I don't have a good group of friends, and I don't have anyone to help me. I still had to pay my brother to sleep on his floor.
Wow. Oh, you had to pay rent?
Yeah.
Oh
Whatever. Yeah. It was minimal, but
like utilities or something.
Yeah, like that was truly all I could really afford. I couldn't afford my own place. So I get into real estate. I just kept showing up and I just wanted to build a life for myself. And I felt like I just got excited about it. And I felt as, you know, after I did my first transaction, it was so rewarding with that family. I'm so glad it was like that particular family. That was my first, but I just felt like, okay, I want to build a life for myself. I want to get my own apartment. I want to, you know, be able to do this or that and build up my business and, you know, be able to pay my bills and not be, you know, maxing out my credit cards. And I had so much debt. And so it was just really a wanting to build a life for myself. And now, like what you said, like it's so exciting and rewarding, especially with a first time home buyer who like, I love like when they reach out and ask questions and to be there to help them. And they're like at closing table, they're like, God, I heard that this was so crazy and you just made it seamless and amazing for us. And they keep in touch with me. I'm going to their kids' birthday parties. Like it's that part of it is so rewarding. And I think now like, that's why I do it, but also like it's totally different. You know, I'm not trying to pay my bills. It's like, okay, now I want to put this money towards retirement. Okay, I want to have kids, so I want to like set up all my systems and have these people helping me so that I can take that time off. But like I love this job so much. It's not even about the money that I want to have things in place. And so yeah,
I know.
I think that those are the reasons that keep us fired up and wanting to keep showing up.
I know. It's
so do you, when you're
go ahead,
business planning for next year, do you usually like attend a business planning class or are you going over your numbers with your team? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. Abby and I will do a deep dive. Like we'll take a day and, you know, maybe we'll go to the spa and we'll review all the, like, you know, all the numbers and what we spent and what we earned and like, you know, kind of what next year looks like. We'll talk about events and, the way it's weird. Like I run everything. It's not weird, but everything I do is like on my calendar, right? Like even my goals, like everything lives in my calendar. Cause I can it's easy to just like have a wide overview, right? And kind of like look at it on the calendar and you see everything. So, you know, when we're planning for events and stuff like that, we'll just pop in the calendar for next year, like start planning event or, you know, event on this week or whatever. And so we loosely like, you know, we'll put placeholders in throughout the year on the Google calendar. But what do you do?
Yeah. So I used to attend classes. I remember my previous broker, the last one that I went to, he had these sheets and we were filling them out and it was like, write down all the lead sources that you had. And we had to write down all the tasks for these lead sources. And they were all things like, mailers, Zillow leads, like all these things that I really wasn't doing, but I'm writing them down, right? And I'm trying to come up with tasks. And I remember leaving that day and I was like feeling so, I don't know, frustrated, defeated, and just thinking like, this isn't how I generate business. And I do not want to do, these cold calls or this door knocking, and I had like 10 things he wanted us to write down. I felt beyond overwhelmed, but I ended up getting on the phone with Megan, that, who's a realtor out in Palm Coast, which is close by. She's a good friend of mine. And this was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. And I had called her up and I told her about this meeting, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm aligning or something. And she was like, you need to do like what you are good at, even though it's not very conventional right now, the whole social media thing, but what you're doing is working, and you need to dive into those things and make your own business plan. So like we got on the phone, we wrote down like what we were doing, because she's really into video and social media and Facebook and events. So we got on the phone, and then like we wrote everything out, all the tasks, and it had me so fired up. So I guess one thing that I want people to get from this is like there is so many ways to generate business in real estate, and they all work if you work and you're consistent. They all work. Everyone's been successful off of every little thing, but you have to focus on one, like what you enjoy doing. Like don't show up every day making those calls if you literally hate it. You don't want to be hating life. And if you've already been in the business and you know what has been working for you, just dial in on that. I think it's good to have multiple, like social media is my number one. And then I have events was like my main second. And then like just meeting up with people and building relationships, like making a goal to be intentional, like meet up with a certain amount of people, coffee, lunch, like it's so not salesy. And those are the 3 things that I enjoy doing. And then I have like the mailers and, those types of things, but really dialing in and figuring out like how you want to generate business it's really important.
That's a good point. Which, a lot of people I feel like don't do lunches and coffees. Like I'm always doing that all the time. And I think that's a big reason why my referral business is so large. Yes. Because like I generally like the person, right? And I want to spend time with them.
Yes.
And naturally, like we talk about real estate because I'm a freaking realtor, and they're like, oh, like how's the market? Yes. Or like, so that's always really important too. I mean, it's just so important to talk to people and be genuine and, have those relationships because they will come back to you. So
I think we do so much on social media, and it is a great way to like get your personality out there and to build trust with people. But there's just something about getting that one-on-one. There's been so many times like people who follow me on, friends, people that I've met that follow me on social media, like they know me, but it takes me like taking time to reach out to them. There's been so many times where like I've just been like, hey, do you want to get a cup of coffee or lunch? Like just a genuine friend. Like there is no sales tactic behind it. And then it's like they're reaching out to me shortly after, oh, hey, I'm actually looking to sell. Like they had a property to sell that they wanted to, or they told their friend about me or something. And I'm just like, I don't think that these people would be doing that if I wasn't meeting up with them in person.
Exactly.
So I think it goes a long way, and having that part of your plan, to me, I'm like, oh, it doesn't seem like work, but it's really important and can, that's how you get referrals. Right. You build a relationship with that person.
Yeah. So, I would meet so many people a month for, coffee or lunch, right? Like one a week or something. How many times do you meet people, do you think, in a month? Or does it vary?
So I try to do. Coffees are like a lot easier. I feel like, having to commit to a meal just because things are so busy, right? And my schedule's always, it seems to always be changing. So I like the coffee meetups so much.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really what I focus on. And I love coffee and I love meeting up with my friends. So it's a win-win. And sometimes I'm like, I get there early and I can get some work done there, or I'll stay later and have that time to like really get work done. But I do think that it's important to, especially if you're new, to have an idea of writing these things down. I used to have them on my computer, so I was seeing them every single day. But, actually writing, like I have this template, which if anyone messages me, I'm more than happy to send it to you. And then we're actually going to do a business planning December 8th that will be live. It's for anyone who is in the Level Up on Instagram Facebook group. But if anyone messages me and they want the link, like I'm more than happy to send it.
That's so fun.
Yeah, but it's actually going to be broken down by this template where, you know, it's how many deals did you close? How many leads were gathered? Quick conversion per lead source? How many on the buy side? Average sale price? Number on the sales side? Average sales side? So that we can see your trends and help you set your 2020 goals. So it's kind of hard to like talk about that in a podcast, and I'm very visual. So I think it would be helpful for us to dial in on the whole number aspect thing when we're Zoom and I can share
Such
my
a great
screen.
idea.
Yeah, because I
love
think
that.
for some people are numbers people and they're very visual and they have to like, I mean, I always had to have it on my laptop so I could constantly be reminded of it. And I have a whiteboard and I have it in my office. So I'm constantly seeing like my quarterly, monthly, weekly goals. I have to see it like visually,
like,
you know, a lot of people write it down and then like they never look at that piece of paper again. Like you're likely going to lose that piece of paper, right?
Wow. Yeah. Like see, it's crazy because like I used to be obsessive, like, you know, and I think that's my problem. I have an obsessive personality. Like, and so, you know, the minute I stop putting them everywhere, like that's when it's interesting, right? Like it's different, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
you got to do whatever works for you.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. It's like, it took me so long to figure that out. Like, and then I exploded, but you know, so
there's so many trainings out there that it's like, I don't think it's ever even any speaker's intention that the agents that are attending that they're supposed to follow everything to the T. I think what I do is like the trainings that I go to, I just take those little golden nuggets that I took away from it and I felt like I could relate and implement it into my business. And then I'm able to reach those goals with that, right? Awesome. Whereas like if I'm supposed to like what you said, like certain people are doing it a certain way, it doesn't mean that you're going to be successful if that's not working for you. I feel like I wasn't wording that right.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah,
absolutely. What else?
Well, it should be interesting. Yeah, you know, really goal setting with intention. I mean, I think just starting with, everyone has like new agents, they have this goal of like, oh, I want to make $100,000, right? Yeah. It's like, well, what does that really look like? Let's break it down quarterly. Let's break it down monthly and really putting in the action. You have to put in the hard work in order to receive those. And then, you know, coming up with your why and then breaking down those numbers on what it looks like, I think is really important.
Exactly.
But yes, if you want to, I'm not sure when this is airing actually, now that I think about it, but if it's before December 8th.
Yeah, we can air it before December 8th. We decide when it airs.
Otherwise, yeah, I am going to be recording it. So if it's past December 8th, then just reach out to me and you can get the recording.
Awesome.
That'll work.
Perfect.
Cool.
Great.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Follow us on Instagram at highest.best.
Yeah. Talk to us. We're here. We'll see you next week. And that's it.
See you guys.
Bye.